So, what if the best way to pick a new crime boss wasn't some bloody turf war, but a single, high stakes card game? We're about to unpack a pretty wild story about a dying boss's final test for his successor. And let me tell you, it involves a strange prophecy, some seriously deadly rules, and a leadership lesson you are probably not going to forget. Okay, so it all kicks off with this incredibly cryptic warning. A tyrant of tyrants is on the way, and humanity's got a deadline. I know, it sounds like something straight out of an epic fantasy novel, right? But believe it or not, this one little line is the key that unlocks the entire bizarre story we're about to get into. Right, so to even begin to decode that prophecy, we have to start with a riddle, a really strange proverb that's right at the heart of this whole thing. And the answer, as it turns out, is waiting for us in some smoky backroom pub. And here it is. This is our riddle. It's all about transformation, deception, masks. This single sentence is basically the entire philosophy that governs our story. And its real meaning, well, that's about to be revealed in a high-stakes card game between three very ambitious mobsters, all trying to grab the crown. All right, let's picture this. We're in a dimly lit pub in a city called Montauk. The old boss, the infamous Ivan the Terrible, is dead, and his top guys are gathered around a table. But this isn't a wake. They're here to decide who takes over his entire empire. And the method for choosing the new leader? A simple game of cards.
So let's meet the guys at the table. First up, we've got Johnny Barbaric. With nicknames like the Barber and the Executioner, you get a pretty clear idea of his whole management style, right?
Next, there's Wicked Will, who also goes by Soul Crusher. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. He's also the dealer. Yeah, a player is dealing the very cards that will decide his own fate. I mean, come on, how fair can that possibly be?
And rounding out our trio is Ely Ethan, his nickname? Glass Slipper on the Oily Ground. It just perfectly captures the slick, treacherous vibe of this whole game, where one little slip-up means you are out. And I mean, permanently.
So you're probably wondering, how does this game, House of Decks, actually work? Well, the old boss, Ivan, he left behind a very specific and, yeah, very deadly set of rules. They seem simple on the surface, but trust me, there's a brutal catch. Okay, so the path to becoming the new boss seems straightforward enough. Play 3 threes in a row, you're in. But look at that last rule. You can also become the runner-up by playing 3 sixes. And in this world, runner-up doesn't exactly mean you get a silver medal. And this is where you get a real taste of the old boss's twisted sense of humor. The prize for coming in second is a little trip to the VIP suite, which, as the sniper watching from a nearby rooftop could tell you, is just code for a one-way ticket to, well, Playing 3 sixes is basically a death sentence. Okay, game time. The cards are on the table. You could cut the tension in that room with a knife. And just outside, a sniper has their rifle trained on the pub window, just waiting for someone to become the runner-up. The game begins, and Wicked Will makes the first move. He lays down a 6. Whoa, just like that, he's put himself 1/3 of the way on that sniper's radar. You can just feel the room get colder. And then, his second turn, he does it again. Another 6. The room goes dead silent. Outside, the sniper takes aim. It honestly looks like Wicked Will is just walking straight into a trap. The tension is it's at its absolute peak. As the source material puts it, the other mobsters start sweating, wondering if this dreaded Dark Knight, the assassination, is about to go down right in front of their eyes. For his final card, Wicked Will slowly slides it onto the table. It's not a 6. It's a joker. The sniper lowers their rifle, and the tension in the room doesn't just break, it completely shatters into a million pieces of confusion. What in the world just happened? You see, what just happened was the real test. That shocking twist wasn't some mistake. It was the entire point. By playing a joker, Wicked Will proved he was the only one who actually got the real rules of the game. And here's the secret, straight from the old boss himself. He didn't want a successor who was just another predictable, tough guy. No, he wanted someone who could play the fool, lure their enemies into a trap, and then brilliantly turn their own plans against them. And you can see it laid out perfectly right here. The sniper was waiting for the obvious tyrant, right? The predictable target. But the true successor, Wicked Will, he understood the real game. He played the part of the fool, let his enemies' expectations build, and then, at the very last second, bam, he pulled the rug out from under them. A true master of the poker face. And now, for the final, absolutely brilliant punchline. That terrifying criminal syndicate with the ridiculously long, evil name, it's all a front for a charity. The whole scary reputation was just a cover, the ultimate deception to keep their real enemies guessing. So what's the big takeaway from all this madness? Well, it's really a masterclass in strategy. Real power isn't just about being the strongest. It's about being the smartest. It's about being so unpredictable that you can turn your opponent's own expectations into a weapon against them. Which brings us right back where we started, to that strange proverb. In a world full of predictable predators, the lions and the snakes, maybe the ultimate power move is to be neither. Maybe true power is becoming the joker in the deck, the one thing your enemies can never, ever see coming.